Welcome back to Heroic Book Adventures. I'm Steve, and today I'm taking you back to the late 1980s, and we're going to look at the Moonshae Trilogy, written by Douglas Niles. At the time, Niles was a game designer for Dungeons and Dragons and other tabletop RPG sorts of things. And he ended up writing The Darkwalker on Moonshae as the very first novel set in the Forgotten Realms universe. Which is interesting because now there's what, like 200 of those books or something, and multiple video games set there. So this is really where it all started. One little thing I gotta note, it's sort of stupid little side thing, but whenever I see the Dark Walker on Moonshae on my bookshelf, for some reason my brain just interprets it as the Dog Walker on Moonshae. It just, I don't know why it bothers me, but so I think when I put these back away, I'm gonna, put them out of sight just so I don't do that to myself. But anyways, I went into it not really knowing what to expect from this trilogy because I've never really seen anybody talk about it much. But I really enjoyed it. The Moonshaes are a cluster of islands that are like just off of the main continent, kind of like how the British Isles are. And I think that this trilogy is actually very Celtic inspired. So there is an Earth Mother who is like the goddess of the Isles. The folk there revere her, and there's like an order of druids that do her work there to keep the balance, the natural order of things going on. Besides the Earth Mother, there is an evil entity that's referred to as the Beast, who is like her sworn enemy. So with enough corruption going on in the world, he is able to take on physical form, and he decides to come into the world, and in order to attack the Earth Mother, he starts basically defiling everything that's natural and good. So he starts just spoiling nature whenever he can, the plants and the animals, and indoctrinating people for his own benefit and things like that. So there's two main characters you pretty much follow. Tristan, who is a prince of one of the holds in the Isles. His father views him as kind of unworthy, not mature enough to be taking the crown one day, so he always feels like he's got something to prove. And then his father also had taken in a girl named Robin as his ward. So the two, Tristan and Robin, have been raised together. And her past is a mystery. She's never been told who her parents were or where she came from or anything. So, of course, the two of them get sucked into an adventure to go out questing and everything like that, and end up being involved into the fight between good and evil and everything. And of course, they meet companions along the way. It's not really anything groundbreaking as far as fantasy goes, but it was cool world building. I enjoyed the setting in that. It was a cool plot and everything. The characters, I wouldn't say are super fleshed out or in depth or anything, but they were well enough written that I cared about them the entire time. Like I wanted to see them succeed and everything. And if you like a variety of different sorts of characters and races and everything, it's all in here. I mean, in addition to the folk, there are halflings, dwarves, elves, a unicorn, a little fairy dragon that's 2 foot tall who likes to play tricks on people with his illusion magic, a little sprite type of character, and dogs too. They when they go adventuring, they take a group of moorhounds with them. And I want to give a little shout out to Canthus and Old Angus. They're good boys. I just love animal companions in fantasy books, so it's always a plus when I see that. So the characters in the story, it was good. I really enjoyed this. The cover artwork, It's okay. It's pretty typical of that era. Nothing stand out. I would say probably the best of them was the second book, Black Wizards. You can see that's a pretty cool one. Black Wizards are down there looking through the magic mirror at that's Tristan and Robin and the little fairy dragon named Newt there with them. So it's pretty cool. If I were to rank these individually, I would say all of them were about 8 stars out of 10. You know, really fun reads with some cool ideas. Now, understand you're not going to get any like literary brilliance out of something like this, but you don't read Forgotten Realms novels for that kind of thing, right? You know, these are meant to just be good fantasy fun. And as far as that goes, these really do deliver. So if I average all of them, that give you an 8. But I think it deserves pointed out that a lot of times in trilogies, and especially with longer series than that, you'll have a lull. Like the middle book will be a little bit slower than the others or something like that. But I didn't feel that way with any of these. This trilogy was consistently good from beginning to end. Like I was engaged the entire time. Whenever I had to stop to do something else, I was like looking forward to getting back to start reading again. So I think the whole of the trilogy is really better than the individual parts. So I would rank the trilogy as a solid like 8.5 out of 10 here. I really liked it. And if this is the kind of fantasy that you're into or whatever, I would highly suggest checking this out. It was really cool. And in the early 90s, Niles had written a follow-up trilogy to this called the Druid Home Trilogy. I've got that already on standby. I love Druid type characters, so that's definitely on my TBR for the not too distant future here coming up. Check that out. So I will see you heroes on our next adventure.